Imagine a world where every sunrise promised a fight, not for power or glory, but for the very breath of your children. This is the untold story of our ancient ancestors and the fierce, unbreakable love that forged humanity. We often look back at prehistory through the lens of evolution and survival of the fittest. We picture rugged individuals alone against the wild. But what if the greatest evolutionary leap wasn't about the individual at all? What if it was about something far more profound, the birth of the family and the ancient, unwavering commitment to protect kin? Today, we're peeling back millions of years of dust and time to uncover the raw, visceral heart of what it truly meant to be a parent, a child, a sibling, in an age defined by teeth and claw. You'll discover why the echoes of their struggle, their love, and their courage still resonate within us all. Picture this: a landscape teeming with danger, vast and unforgiving some 2 million years ago. Our ancestors, early hominids, weren't the apex predators. Far from it. They were often prey, small and vulnerable, especially their young. A newborn hominid, helpless and utterly dependent, was a beacon of fragility in a brutal world. It needed constant protection, constant warmth, constant food. This wasn't just a biological imperative. It was the genesis of a bond so strong it would fundamentally reshape our species. Think about it. A mother, perhaps an Australopithecus, clutching her infant close as the shadows lengthen. Every rustle in the tall grass, every distant roar sent a jolt of terror through her. But with that terror came an equally powerful, undeniable surge of protectiveness. It wasn't a conscious decision, it was a deep, primal instinct. Her life was no longer just her own, it was inextricably tied to this tiny, dependent being. This fierce love wasn't a weakness, it was an evolutionary advantage. It ensured that the next generation carrying forward the genetic code had a fighting chance. It wasn't just mothers either. The entire nascent family unit, small and beleaguered, began to cohere around this shared vulnerability. A father, a grandparent, an older sibling, each played a part. Perhaps it was a male standing guard while the female foraged, or a small group huddling together against the biting cold. They weren't just individuals sharing space. They were an interconnected web of protection, a living shield for their most precious cargo, the future. Their very survival hinged on their ability to trust, to cooperate, to sacrifice for one another. This raw, unfiltered devotion laid the bedrock for everything we now understand as family. Imagine waking up each day with the stark reality that your family's very existence hung by a thread. This wasn't a fleeting thought for our ancestors. It was their constant companion. Food was scarce, predators were ever present, and the elements were merciless. Every decision, from where to find water to which berries were safe to eat, carried the weight of life and death for the entire group. This daily struggle wasn't just about individual strength, it was about collective resilience, fueled by an unwavering commitment to the family. Consider a small band of Homo erectus navigating dense forests or open savannas. The adults, perhaps parents and a few other relatives, would work tirelessly. While some might be tracking game, others would be gathering roots and fruits, always with one eye on the horizon for danger. The children, even the slightly older ones, had vital roles to play, observing, learning, staying close, understanding the subtle cues of their environment. They weren't just passive recipients of care, they were active participants in the family's survival, each contributing what they could to the fragile ecosystem of their kin. Picture a desperate hunt. The coordinated effort, the risks taken, the sheer exhaustion. If successful, that meager kill wasn't just for the hunter, it was for the hungry mouths waiting back at the camp. If unsuccessful, the gnawing hunger would persist, threatening the youngest and weakest first. These weren't acts of charity, they were fundamental expressions of family solidarity. The fierce bond meant that no one was left behind easily. The weak were protected, the injured cared for, because every single member, no matter how small or vulnerable, represented a piece of their collective future. As the millennia rolled on, our ancestors didn't just endure, they adapted, innovated, and evolved. And much of that ingenuity, much of that drive to create, was directly rooted in the primal need to better protect their families. It wasn't simply about making life easier. It was about securing the safety of their loved ones against an increasingly complex and dangerous world. The invention of tools, the mastery of fire, the building of shelters, these were not abstract intellectual exercises. They were urgent, necessary acts of protection. Think of the first crude stone hand axes. Yes, they were for butchering animals or breaking bones for marrow. But imagine the power they gave a desperate father facing down a threat to his children. A sharpened stick became a spear, not just for hunting, but for defense against a lurking, saber-toothed cat. The evolution of our brains, our problem-solving capacity, was turbocharged by the intense pressure of keeping our lineage alive. Every new skill, every piece of shared knowledge strengthened the family's shield. And then there was fire. The flickering flames in the dark did more than just cook food and provide warmth. They drew a crucial line in the sand, a fiery barrier against the night's unseen horrors. Imagine the immense comfort and security that fire brought to a family huddled together, knowing that predators, at least for now, were kept at bay. It was a beacon of hope, a symbol of their ability to control their environment, however slightly. These innovations weren't just signs of intelligence, they were profound acts of love, manifestations of a relentless will to protect, to thrive, to give their children a better chance than they themselves had known. This collective effort, this shared understanding of purpose, cemented the family as the ultimate survival unit. Millions of years have passed since those first desperate struggles. The landscapes have changed, the predators are gone, and our shelters are far more elaborate. Yet the deep, resonant echoes of our ancestors' courage, their love, and their willingness to sacrifice still pulse within us. This ancient fight to protect kin isn't just a historical footnote. It's the very foundation of who we are today, the bedrock of our empathy, our bravery, and our profound sense of connection. Consider the ultimate test, a moment of impossible choice. A predator closing in. The only way for the young or the vulnerable to escape is for someone to make a stand, to create a diversion, to offer themselves as a shield. These moments of ultimate sacrifice, though lost to the mists of time, were undoubtedly real. They shaped the very essence of human compassion and selflessness. We carry that legacy, that capacity for profound, self-sacrificing love, in our very DNA. It's why a parent will instinctively put themselves in harm's way for their child. Even today, in a world far removed from the savannas of ancient Africa, their fight wasn't just for survival, it was for continuity. It was for the promise of a future where their lineage, their family, their story would continue. Every smile on a child's face today, every act of nurturing, every moment of familial warmth is a direct testament to the fierce, unyielding love that guided our ancestors through unimaginable hardships. We are here right now because millions of years ago, a family fought. They fought with everything they had, not for glory, but for each other. And in doing so, they etched an indelible blueprint of love and courage into the very fabric of humanity. Their struggle wasn't just ancient history, it was the making of us. We've journeyed back millions of years, not just to look at bones and tools, but to grasp the raw emotional heart of our ancestors. We saw how the sheer vulnerability of early hominid young sparked the first family bonds, transforming individual survival into a collective loving effort. We explored the daily battles against a brutal world, where every action was driven by the imperative to protect kin. We uncovered how intelligence and innovation, from stone tools to fire, were born of a desperate love, a relentless drive to shield their families. And ultimately, we recognize that the echoes of their courage and sacrifice still define our capacity for love and connection today. Their story is our story. What do you think is the strongest protective instinct in a family today? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. If this journey through our ancient past moved you, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into history, and join our community as we uncover the incredible tales that shaped who we are.